Welcome to Team Fortress TV. This is Admirable. I've got kaidus with me, and we got DavidTheWin on the camera. The more things change, the more they stay the same. It's ETF2L Season 22, powered by Saloon.tf. It's the Premiership, it's week 1, and Epsilon are back with us. And they are still absolutely terrible at agreeing on servers on time. The game is already 20 minutes behind schedule. Epsilon are getting ready to wreck some Russians. Sorry, I can't call them Russians anymore. There's Serpents, and it's going to be Badlands, and it's going to be Snake Water. And I understand Shocky is playing as a merc. What's that all about?
I think, without going into too many gory details, there's been some kind of drama with his partner that has meant he has to maintain his status as part of their roster or something. That's kind of what I heard anyway. Either way, I think everyone's just going to allow him as a merc this season so that he can have the best of both worlds.
He's under the thumb?
I think that's probably the best way of summing it up. I don't know the details, but I heard like that's basically the version I heard. He had to stay on this roster to prevent drama with his girlfriend.
I will try my hand at an old roster rundown here. I'm going to go for Epsilon. Going to be KnoXxX on Medic. And Flippy playing Scout/Sniper along with Shocky. Numlocked on Demo Man. And is Mike playing Pocket or is he roaming kaidus?
I think he's roaming. I'm not entirely sure because when we played the Tip of the Hat show matches, he was Pocket and they got someone who's a Pocket by trade to mark as roamer. So I was all but convinced he was Pocket. But then the one PCW I've seen them play last week, they had Mike on roam and Tech on Pocket. So I think that's what they're going with. It makes the most sense given the tools they have available to them, but it's a bit of a shame not to see Mike back on Pocket.
I think Numlocked's preference, at least in the week they were kind of putting this team together, was that he really enjoys playing with Mike on Pocket. It makes life easy for him, but at the same time it's kind of Tech's best fit within this team, right?
Yeah, I think when they decided they had to go with the exact same roster as they were going to use in Overwatch, this was best class composition they could come up with. I think when the plan was to have a separate roster for TF2 and Overwatch with just some players overlapping, they definitely would have kept Mike on Pocket, but it is what it is, I guess.
Some changes then on the Serpents roster as well. Shayu is no longer in the team. He was playing Medic, but now I believe that it is Lippy on Medic, Shadowburn on Roamer, Forsaken on Pocket, or the other way around, Atomic on Scout, and they now have Nesh, who is a top tier Highlander sniper playing Scout with them as well. It's a little bit confusing. Of course, Death will play on Demo Man. Have you played against these guys this week?
We made a mix for them the other day. It wasn't a very serious game in the end, as the mix turned out to be a bit dodgy. And they were missing Death as well. They had, I think they had Kenzie marking demos, so we didn't really get the best impression of them. But from watching them play, it is Forsaken on Pocket. He's doing like a very heal-heavy Pocket role. But again, maybe with Death that won't be quite like that, because they did have like demo mercs all week. And Shadowburn has been on Roam. From what I've seen, he's having a lot of fun with the Market Gardener, but there's not really a whole lot of team chemistry going on for them. I don't really like their chances tonight, to be honest, based on what I've seen of them in recent days.
The maps are, of course, going to be Badlands and Snake or Badlands. Then your prediction, kaidus, hit me with a precise scoreline.
I'm going to go 6-1 Badlands, 5-0 Snake Water. I really don't think the Serpents have a chance today.
I am going to up the ante. I'm going to say 8-3 Epsilon. They're going to get it eventually, but it could be a high scoring round. And we are going live here. Action just getting underway. We see the teams rolling out. And I'm taking a quick look at the Numlocked cam. And he is just taking a leisurely pace to the middle here. Picks up the kit and now moves to the balcony. They're trying to pre-fire the house, but taking a little bit of Atomic's buff away. He's now getting pressured by Shadowburn. He's gone behind here to steal the blue kit, but no frags coming in yet. Both teams set up their position here, and it's actually Mike who gets isolated there, rushed down by Atomic, but Shadowburn goes down as well, so both roamers down right now, but it's Epsilon taking control of the point and moving forward here. The Russians are realizing that they were pretty low and just decided to back out. They couldn't force their way back through chokes, so they just retreated. Numlocked trying to jump in and make some space here for his team, just about survives on 11 health, and it looks like Epsilon are going to be able to get Spire pretty easily here.
Yeah, that mid was kind of all Epsilon. I mean, the first frag came in for the Serpents, but they dominated all the position. They only managed to like focus down the roamer, who was isolated in Valley, but to go and frag that guy, it meant giving up all the position on the point, which FC just took with ease. So we have even Ubers on last. I'm not sure if we're going to see a stalemate. Like, FC might just want to just roll it in. It's the kind of thing I'd like to do. As they do, they are just walking straight in top right. Uber popped onto Tech, who is confirmed pocket now. Uber's popped back for Serpents quite a lot later. Probably going to see FC just try and reset it now, back out of lobby. But they find a frag on Shadowburn on the flank, so they're going to go for a rotate. Looks like the entire combo is working in the bottom left position at the moment, but Numlocked does go down, which is probably going to draw a halt to the whole thing, as Serpents have actually pushed out really aggressive in lobby. And I would say they caught out Epsi, but it's actually the other way around, and they actually managed to trade a few frags. Not looking great for Epsi, who are retreating into trash. I was going to say that almost went terribly for the Serpents, as they found themselves with a combo in like a 2v5 situation, but the frag's just not going the right way. But Mike actually finds the frag onto Lippy, so KnoXxX is going to be able to survive, get up an Uber advantage, and it's just a matter of how Serpents are going to approach this now.
Yeah, I really like that actually from Serpents. It was positive play. Epsilon were trying to stack the flank, but Forsaken just steps out and gets so much information from his team by taking a look in top lobby, and he was able to catch them off guard slightly, but things just didn't fall their way, and they end up Lippy going down. And Epsilon will be more than happy to be pushing here on the dot, 100% almost within KnoXX's grasp here. He's dishing out the buffs, and it looks like they're going to be leading with Flippy and Tech top left. No, they're hesitating. They've got loads of time. They've got a big window here with which to push, but it is going to be a scout Uber in. They're expecting perhaps a pyro or something, but the sentry gun is there. The pyro is juggling Flippy up. Eventually Nesh goes down there, but the combination of that air blast and the continuous fire of the sentry gun really pinning that Uber back, and it seems like Serpents might have done enough to hold on here. Numlock's trying to contest that sentry from main as we see Flippy make a dash for the point. It's 3-on-3 here, but still that sentry gun's like a fourth man on the field right now here for Serpents, and all of Epsilon are in front of them now. Like Shocky, Numlocked and KnoXxX all kind of backing out here. Shocky's going to pick up the med pack and take a peek lower right. No, they're not even going to go for it. They're just going to sit back here and say, come at us, bros.
I'm surprised to not see Serpents attempt to do something there. I mean, I think they had numbers for a few moments and they could have really looked for more picks in lobby. I mean, Numlocked had sticky stuff and waiting for them, so it probably wouldn't have ended great. But now we're actually seeing them push out. Kind of weird timing. I guess they've entered themselves a slight Uber advantage out of all of this, but it's been popped really early, and Mike's actually on Spy. I don't know if he's doing anything worthwhile. Trying to find him. He is working his way into lobby at the moment. He's worked his position behind. He's not going to go for the back cap, and it's a good job as well. So it's a soldier on last. The Uber comes in for Epsi, and Mike is just sandwiched completely. At the same time, a headshot from Flippy, and this is just a complete disaster.
Mike gets the ambassador headshot as well onto death. 6 spy plays there, and the utility class is finding 3 frags in about the space of 2 seconds there. Mike's going for last, but the back cap comes in from Shadowburn. Huge roaming plays there to buy time for his team, and they're actually going to get a spawn wave here. Atomic Death and Lippy all back on the field, but they have to face off against 6 Epsilon players, but one of them's a spy and another is a sniper, so they might be able to just hold on for a bit longer here. Tech's trying to force the issue on main, but he's just making a real distraction here from Mike. They have to remember there's still a spy up. Lippy, no! What are you doing? He just walks forward. Nobody's looking behind, and Mike gets back-to-back medic picks there, and Epsilon now finally given another chance. They're starting to work their way in top left. They find the frag onto Forsaken. Good focus fire there from the combo, but Shadowburn's coming in behind them. He just can't put out enough damage in time, won't get a single frag there, and slowly but surely Serpent are being ground down, and that's going to be 1-0 Epsilon. But what a crazy round.
Yeah, that was really weird indeed. Kind of a questionable decision by Serpents, I think, to push out in the first place, considering they probably could guess that Flippy was spawning up on Sniper. They knew they'd have to use that Uber early, and Epsilon was saying on 8 as they actually came out. But that situation was kind of always going to go against them, but the Mike plays just made it even more troublesome for them. As they're back on another middle, I want to see Shadowburn maybe do something a bit more direct this time as last time. He did just flank Mike, taken down really early, and again we see all this position for Epsilon on the point, but this time they have an early frag. They haven't had to trade their own roamer in for it, so it's a matter of whether they can just clean up the frags, and KnoXxX actually goes down, Neshin from the behind. And it's looking pretty good for Serpents actually. They found all the frags, they've only lost Nesh, and if they can keep the medic up here, they're looking really good. Oh my god, did he survive? He did survive. That bomb from Tech was inches away from picking up Lippy, but he just manages to hang in there.
Flippy versus 3 here. He's going to be able to escape with his life. Mike is back on the field, having had a pretty unsuccessful bomb. Don't know if he's a little rusty or something, but like tried to do this low skip jump from the balcony across the train onto the enemy window, but he whiffed it, and the scouts just ate him up right there. But he's currently hiding at the resup side, so if Serpents decide to go that way, which they might because of the fear of the Flippy sniper, imagined fear as it turns out, Mike might be able to get the force here, but Nesh is going to check the corner, surfs away, but whoa, Lippy holds on there. Mike's last rocket was wide of the target, and we see Serpents still moving forward here with a significant Uber advantage, and they're just trying to contest Flippy, who's on the spire, but he's going to be able to escape. Probably could have got that pick, but Serpents seem happy just to have taken middle and now to be able to take the Spire. They're probably just going to sacrifice their Uber advantage here for the territory.
Yeah, I would have liked to see them go further, I think, because like, if you just take the ground and it's even numbers, then maybe it's a good idea just to take it for free. But they had a pick, so they kind of had space, you know, to work with and go forward. The Uber actually popped now for Lippy on Atomic and top lobby. He's very slow to force the counter on Nox though, and they're just going to have to scuttle out of here and do their best to survive. Mike finds one frag, tech another. I'm pretty sure Def's going to go down in the lower left area as well, as Nesh actually takes down Shocky but then trades. And this is turning to really messy. Def is 1v1ing Nox in lobby at the moment. He actually gets him! Oh my god, what a pipe. But that's criminal. Def was like cool there, he was made weak so long ago. Nox is really not going to be happy with that one.
Tech also managed to chase down Lippy there and get the medic pick just after, or just before Nox died in fact. But I mean, I think I gave Serpents too much credit there. I thought they were trying to play this like smart game and take minimal risks, but then when they were actually a man down, they decided to go and trade Ubers with a scout who took forever to force, and that just forfeited their lives and the whole push. Now they're coming in to try and retake Spire, but Forsaken is getting focused hard, but the flank is wide open here. Shadowburn and Nesh are working their way in onto the balcony. Nesh is coming in from behind on Trash, but Shocky with the ESP shuts him down instantly, and now Serpents are committed to the Spire here. They're 3 down, they're trying to run. Atomic's looking to make it out on Choke as the last man, and he will meet up with Lippy and Forsaken on middle, but it's going to be pretty easy for Epsilon to just stroll in here. The rockets from Forsaken are chipping away at them, but it's not going to be enough to deter them. Nox almost has charge as well. Mike coming up from the valley, trying to catch out anyone. Atomic survives on 20. Forsaken is super weak. If Epsilon just keep going here, they could pick up these 3 frags, but they are kind of hesitating. They're scared of that Uber charge, I guess. Forsaken comes in. He's 70 health here as the Uber is just about to run out. But he and Lippy managed to surf out 3 Choke. They've lost 3 players though, but what were they thinking?
I have absolutely no idea why they wanted to contest that. I mean, they knew Epsi had Uber, they were already like 1 down, and another one was pretty much guaranteed to go. No, I don't think anyone's HP was what you would describe as good for the Serpents. I really have no idea why they made this decision.
These kids are crazy. Shadowburn is going to stuff them back in on main though, spamming those rockets, then tries to walk top, but finds 3 more Epsi players waiting for him. No heals available right now for Serpents. Lippy's just about to respawn, but Nesh, the heavy's already taking damage. He's going to be a tough target to heal up. He's getting flanked by Mike as well. Numlocked putting stickies on the point, trying to edge in, but Epsilon are -3. Nox going down as well. Forsaken picks up Tech, Nox, and Mike. Pretty decent.
Very decent indeed, but I don't think Epsi will be happy with how they approached that situation. It looked like they wanted to go in. Like maybe
look at Shocky, man.
What's Shocky doing?
Playing spy on main. Only Shadowburn stands between him and the cap. He doesn't want to contest it. He's going to work his way up top. He doesn't realise Forsaken is coming behind. I don't think he saw him though. He is going to be able to get that backstab onto death, so Demoman down. That is definitely going to put an end to this attempted Spire retake from Serpents, and it also leaves the point open for another 5 seconds. And we see Flippy trying to rush in there a little bit. Tech is just going to walk onto the point, it looks like. He's drawn the time there, but again, the back cap, but this time it's Forsaken, not Shadowburn, but Shocky denies the back cap with the Ambassador. And the Serpents end up Ubering on last just to hold on. Nox is backed out here, he's got 90%. He's trying to play this one masterfully. They're still defending the Spire, even though they're terribly outnumbered, but Atomic manages to strong arm it, he gets the cap in. But Epsilon are just baiting Serpents forward. They have those spawns coming in, they have this charge. If they commit, they're going to lose everyone. The air shot him, Flippy wreck, Shadowburn. The combination there, the Uber gets popped off as well, and it seems like they just want to try and steam forward here, but they need to cap the Spire as well. They can't take their eye off the prize, man.
So the kind of nonsense I was talking about in the pre-game, Shadowburn there was going for a Market Gardener, he had it out, and when you jump a guy like Mike, or even Tech, like, and you have to strafe straight at them, you're pretty much just probably going to happen more often than it doesn't happen, so I don't think that's really the approach you want to take when these particular soldiers are on the field. The Russians actually ended up with an Uber advantage somehow in this situation. They're kind of very messy, but if they've actually been paying attention, they will know they have an advantage to work with. Shocky actually up on heavy now, who's going to actually catch on the medic, and man, he just fires Uber out! Oh my god!
How does that work?
I don't know. I think he was going. I think he had his Uber, but he was just going for an arrow. I'm not sure if maybe he didn't quite have it yet. Either he didn't quite have it yet.
He had it. It was
yeah, he was just going for an arrow, and Shocky appears from main. I mean, you don't get much more unlucky than that, I guess, because I've never seen that before. That's just ridiculous.
It was just hilarious because you can see the outline of this big fat guy strolling up, well, at least on my perspective, and I was like, yeah, they're going to get forced here, but they're going to kill off Shocky, but no, he just straight up drops. On the respawn here from Nox, he's decided to go crits as well. I didn't even see at what point Nox went down in all that madness, but he's back, he's got crits, and he's going to have a significant advantage here, kaidus.
Yeah, and this is kind of a theme that I've noticed with Shocky, like back when we were using him in Reason, he will just off-class over and over and over again when you're in like a pushing last scenario. Like, we saw him go Spy earlier, it's not uncommon that I've seen him just go Spy like 4 or 5 lives in a row. And there just comes a point where you stop expecting these kind of plays from him, but he doesn't stop doing them, he just keeps doing them. And it's not something that was particularly like traditional with the old Epsilon, they never really did this sort of stuff before, but at some point it's come into his game.
Take with the crit push here, manages to catch Lippy, everybody just leaves Lippy for dead, the long range crit rocket gonna get that med pick, and they just start feeding him after Lippy goes down, they throw in 2 more at Tech, and he's just mincing them up. Tech on a 6k. Unbelievable. In that life, at least. 6 frags. Can you believe it?
Oh, I can believe it, because if you repeatedly rush a lad with triple damage on his rockets with aim like Tech, you're probably going to get minced most of the time. I'm going to check out Mike on this middle. As you described last mid, he's not having too much success. This time going for the balcony rollout. Early on choke, but Shadowburn's actually opposite rollout choke, so he gets completely denied. He's 90 HP in his own house, so no Roma on the field at the moment for Epsilon. This could be the Russians' chance to take over some ground. Shadowburn with a frag onto Shocky, and they're dominating the position. Epsi really have no chance in this mid. Forced to back out. They do frag Shadowburn, but I mean, that's just that's a freebie, basically. It gives Serpents the point. There's someone behind. It's Forsaken. He's in. He's on Nox. I didn't see it, but the frag is on my
Tech's
screen.
on the Lippy. Lippy serves. The air shot is wide. Tech's going to jump and reload in the air. He's not going to miss that one. And he gets that counter medic pick. It is going to be 3 on 3, though. Atomic immediately finds Flippy midair. Numlock's trying to deny these scouts here on Spire. He's setting up the frags for Shocky. Nesh actually ends up just cratering straight up. Shocky jumps directly into them. Nice play here between these old teammates, Shocky and Numlocked, really making it difficult for this cap to come in, but Atomic survives on 1 health as Shadowburn jumps in to see if it's bacon. And now Nox is holding very far forward here on the respawn. He's committed at trash. Shadowburn's right above him. Shadowburn's going for the MGE battle with Mike, gets air shot. Could have had the med pick if he'd been paying attention. But it looks like Epsilon are going to be able to retake Spire here, and Serpents want nothing to do with it. They're just retreated the middle.
Yeah, Serpents were so lucky to even get that Spire. I mean, they had everything they needed to take it, but for some reason they just ended up putting all their bodies on Spire. Like, they just needed, like, they were in a 3v2, they needed one guy to pressure Numlock back, and the other 2 can just cap the Spire. But for some reason they all just kind of stood there and let Numlock spam them. And in the end, really lucky to get it. So we do see Epsilon now trying to pressure in mid, Shadowburn in deep, decides to not go for Numlock. He's just going behind. He's on the Spire. I think he's just trying to draw people back at the moment. This play's kind of a fail, but he's actually got the attention of 1, 2, 3. In fact, the entire Epsilon team, apart from Tech, who's poking around his house, is currently focused on Shadowburn. I don't think Serpents want to do anything with this. They just want to use the time to get their respawner, I guess, and stabilize on mid.
Yeah, they sent like both soldiers behind from different routes, but Forsaken ran into a brick wall. He was flanking around, but ended up getting destroyed. It is going to be cookie cutter for both teams here, though, no off class.
This is something you can exploit against Epsilon as well, because they have a kind of a policy, like an internal policy they worked out together, where if someone is behind, they just have an agreement, like an internal agreement to everyone go back for them. So if you know that and you just go behind and just continually distract, you can buy a lot of time against Epsilon. It's one of the things about them where they just have this kind of, it's like a set in stone rule almost, where they do it religiously. But they are pushing in now. They've dealt with Shadowburn. He's down. The Ubers are popped. Going to be a trade really, really late pop for Lippy. I don't know if they can trap anyone in here or get any frags, but we'll see.
I think they realise that they're walking into a trap. They're not going to chase through choke, but they are going to stack the flank here. Mike jumping around onto the balcony, catches 2 half rockets onto Nesh, but loses out as Atomic cuts off his retreat. And Epsilon are getting shredded here on the flank. Serpents absolutely mullering them here. Atomic going to kill off Numlocked as Flippy goes down to death there as well. And that's a complete wipe coming in just from that dry play from Serpents. They're going to slither on down main here and engage the spawn camp, it seems. But Death, it's kind of being beat out a little bit by his team. Atomic's too weak to get in there and help him, and they do back out here. They don't get any more frags off the back of that play. They're going to be able to reset though for this big uber advantage push here.
Yep, I didn't witness any of that as I had to clean up a spider on my desk. But, that was pleasant.
Spiders.
Yep, so it's full advantage for Serpents now. If they can take this round, like if they can make this push work rather than take this round, then we have a much closer game on our hands than I actually expected. The Uber's in early. They don't take the pyro down, but he managed to rotate and spawn. The point's wide open, the spam on the point. They just scattered the stickies and stacked it, and it's done. That's a round, and this game is like I was saying, a lot closer than I could have imagined.
I don't think the rounds have been coming in fast enough for my 8-3 scoreline prediction to come true at this point. But 14 minutes left on the clock as we go to the 4th mid fight. And the gods, Epsilon, they've had blood drawn. They are beatable. Shadowburn's going to roll in from his own choke here. He's playing defensive on that red train. Mike's just trying to walk in from the closet, manages to catch Shadowburn there with a direct. And that's going to be the first pick. But look at this. Lippy's decided to spawn on crits. So the Russians are more than happy to regroup at choke here. And Epsilon are all clustered up at... Oh, this is perfect. If they can get the crits up, he's 95, 96. Do they realise? It's all on Forsaken now as Death gets over eager. Forsaken is going to have to peek here. He needs to land a big rocket. The first one's right, the second one is a much better, and the third one wasn't a crit. Nox just surfs on it. He's on half health right now. And that was just disastrous from Serpents. It couldn't have gone any worse for them. The crits yields 0 frags there actually. Shocking going down, but it wasn't even to a crit. That was Nesh doing some work. Epsilon about to roll down main here, kaidus.
Yeah, but I think this round's pretty much all but set in stone. Shocky coming up on Spide just in case it's a complete failure, but I can't see this being a failure. Uber's popped on tech and that's going to clean them up. But yeah, just going back to that death situation on choke, I think he got a little bit greedy. He kind of saw them coming through choke as his crits hit about 95. I think in his head he was thinking he wanted to keep them all there, you know, so we could go for the big glory sticky on 5 players. But
yeah.
if he just backed up a little bit, just been a bit more kind of conservative with it, he could have, you know, just backed up and got the medic or something like that. Played passive with it, but I think he saw the wipe chance and gambled on it, and it just didn't pay off this time.
Got to be precise with those crits calls. They were just a few seconds off. But on to this mid fight. Epsilon have reasserted themselves, making it 3-1. Shadowburn's going to jump around trying to get onto tech, but Flippy just peppers him. And it's actually Epsilon losing 2 players here though, but the position is kind of Epsy. They're forward on the point there. Mike is looking isolated at the closet right now. He's going to be able to jump back towards his own reset though with a little skip jump. And eventually Serpents take a look at the scoreboard and realise, oh, we've won middle, let's walk forward.
Yeah,
it's Upers now though, no crit shenanigans available this time.
Yeah. Actually playing from the trash position, I guess they're just waiting for their respawners. Serpent's pushing through resup at the moment. Looks like Shadowburn trying to go behind, but whiffs the drop down jump. Not once, but twice. Very on Shadowburn like. I think they're just, on that note, just going to go back. I guess the plan was get Shadowburn behind and then push through, but when you watch the Roma failing his jump 3 times in a row, I think you give the game away a little bit.
You can do all the sickest jumps, but you know, fundamentals failing him right there. We're going to see Forsaken, Shadowburn and Lippy stack the house. They're looking to bait someone out here. You see Shadowburn covering Hunter while Forsaken tries to draw Mike's attention from reset, but nobody taking the bait here from Epsilon. That is a kind of pretty standard soldier play there. But now they're going to jump through, and they do catch Mike just as he was trying to step through that roller door. Shadowburn and Forsaken are both behind enemy lines right now, and Epsilon are starting to move back, but Flippy's in on middle, drawing back some of the Serpents here. Nox is standing on Grey Bridge, his players are dropping all around him, but he refuses to pop, and it's actually Serpents who've Ubered first here, but all they need to do is kite this Uber for another few seconds. Oh, Death is going to get picked up there by Shocky. He's got both scouts down pretty weak here. Serpents seem to be struggling to do anything with this. They didn't manage to keep their numbers up as Epsilon's Uber push just fizzled out there, and now they find themselves outnumbered on middle. Numlock's really trying to open things up here. Shadowburn feels he has to go in to buy time for his team. He's just about going to escape as well, and it looks like they might have been able to hold momentarily. Now Death arrives, he needs to put out big damage. He's looking for a buff here, but already Atomic's gone down. Nesh just respawning, and Serpents keep finding themselves a man down here, and they can't take this fight. They have to back out. Epsilon aren't going to give them an easy frag, it seems.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Epsi are going to keep rolling this one forward. This is kind of like a classic Epsi situation. They get like a little inch and they're going to push it the entire mile. Looks like they're stacking up. Okay, actually they're starting to look toward house. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. They're actually not going to go on this. It seemed like a classic kind of time when Epsi would like to go and make a play, but the Russians actually making the plays happen. They're pushing in house. They find a frag on Mike, but it's a very, very early Uber. Nox is staying in a good position, just weighing it out and then counter popping, but Serpents have actually scattered really well. They didn't get a single frag on the back of that Uber, and that was like a very late pop from Nox, and he held it quite aggressively, you know, like he didn't run away with it and then get forced back on his own choke. He stayed on the point in a position where his Uber targets could go for frags, but Serpents re-pushing choke again. It's a really risky play, because I mean the 6 FC guys are sitting there waiting for them, but they actually take a lot of ground. They push Nox back onto slope, and Nox is stuck in valley at the moment. Shadowman actually takes the frag, and all the position is for Serpents. They're stable on the point, and the FC players are all just scattered and alone. They pick off to pick off a whole bunch of them, to be honest, one by one, and now it's just 2 left, Mike and Numlocked in house.
Really nice play there from Serpents, great composure moving in through choke. They just lose Nesh there though. and they're actually only 3 up right now, including their medic. Mike and Numlocked are just posturing around recent there. Might they try and make some kind of play? I think Mike spawned back to last year. And we're going to see Flippy on Sniper. He's going to be on left bug. And as soon as they hear that sniper shot, they just retreat. They know something's up. Flippy can't connect an Atomic there. Charged one up, but doesn't manage to land it. And he needs to be fearful of that Valley push. But actually, they just come out of Hunter with the Uber. They pick off Mike immediately, or he got the Force at least. And they're trying to chase down more frags here. Tech's going to pay for with his life. Nox is just... They're holding forward here. I think they were expecting him to go back, but Nox holds for. He's nowhere near to getting his Uber though. 66%. He is going to be able to escape. Now Nesh and Atomic are running up top. Nox, is he going to bait him in to the scout play here? Flippy coming forward, having respawned or changed back, but this is so confusing right now. It looks like Serpents are going to take it, but the push from Epsilon is going to be immediate, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Numlock's still down, but I mean, kind of the game is so scared at the moment. I think it's there for the taking for Epsi. As Heck actually goes down early. Flippy trades it with Nesh, but I don't know, maybe they're going to reconsider their actions at the moment. Actually, Atomic gives his life away. It's just so scared and random. There's a back cap, but it didn't come off. Okay. But now it's 3 down for Serpents, so this should be a very comfortable Spire take for Epsilon. Def kind of potentially overextending at the moment, just chilling on Stonebridge. I mean, I'm not quite sure why Epsi are taking so long here. I think they're just getting healed up behind Spire, but now they're just going to crush them. Serpents have waited way too long, but Lippy on 99% is going to kill it! Oh my word! That was so clutch, so close. But actually they get a late pop, but now can they get frags from it? That's the question. Mike with a big air shot onto Nesh. No frags to be had for Serpents so far. I don't think they're actually going to get any. There's one soldier on the stone. I think they know he's there. He's going to get cleaned up. What a weird sequence of play. I don't even know where to begin trying to pick that apart. I'm not even going to try because I'll be here all day. Bottom line is though, Serpents wipe, Epsi taking mid, and my 6-1 prediction is looking pretty solid at the moment.
That was disgusting from Michael Adams and Seb Barton. They just minced them up. Right at the moment where Serpents thought, yes, we've got a break here, it's time to crush some faces. But they got absolutely destroyed on that Epsi Spire. And now we see Epsilon and Blue moving forward here, trying to take control of red ground. They're all up top there. Nox actually healing Numlocked and Shocky here on the Grey Bridge, but it seems like Serpents don't want to contest. Nesh going to be up in 5 seconds. But a little bit of a forward hold coming in here from Serpents. Kind of ballsy considering they're a man down, and one of their players is at resup, but they're just hoping to catch Epsilon off guard, and a lot of them are going to be crossed over from Spire to the balcony here. And Forsaken is able to put out some good spam.
Ah, that's excellent.
Nox actually pops there. He pops to try and save his teammates, but he already drops Numlocked. So poor Uber there, I think. He's just going to retreat.
It's a really uncomfortable situation to be in when you spot the forward, hold late, so you have to...
Oh, Tech trying to get in there. Or sorry, Mike trying to get there onto Lippy, but only takes about 50 health off him. And we're going to see an immediate push here from the Russians. They've got that charge, man.
Yep, I mean, this should be quite a comfortable take. I mean, they see both scouts on Spire, so they know there's not that much threat for back cap. Mike's already down, so it's basically all the key problems you don't really have to worry about anymore. They do manage to frag Nox, but Shocky's on his way to last, actually. They've completely left main open, and he might just get it. I don't know if it's going to be enough time. He's just getting there now, but Shadowburn's there to block the hero! Whoa! What a jump. Oh my god, that was so clutch. I think he would have got it. I think he got there just in time, but Shadowburn said, nope, not today. Keeps his team hanging by a lifeline, hanging by a thread. 5 minutes remaining. And 2 rounds needed, and not really in any position to take them at the moment.
Shadowburn, the speed eraser, just zipping back there in the nick of time. And I think that Spire retake should have been a lot easier, but Death decided to jump at 2 scouts instead of just like sticking them off the Spire.
Yep. And
really left things open. But luckily for Serpents, they managed to just get a hand on the tiller there. It was big Shadowburn. It's still 3-1 in favour of Epsilon though, but there are 5 minutes remaining on the clock. They could get 2 rounds in this time, even against Epsilon. And right now they are setting the pieces in motion. The play is coming through the house, and it looks like it's going to be Shadowburn jumping from the window, following up on the Ubered Forsaken. Kind of telegraphed that one a little bit, and Epsilon are going to be able to just do the Ninja Vanish and keep 6 up here. They're in good health and they're ready to go. They've got 95%. Are they? Yeah, they're going to let the cap come in, but
they're stacking the flank so hard. What? They've got 5 guys on flank at the moment, but it's been read completely by Epsi. They put all of their heals there on all of their players, but there's a back cap going on. It's Forsaken alone on Spire. He's going to get isolated. Numlock spamming him down with ease. And Nox actually forced to Uber somewhere along in this mess, but they're taking a frags to justify it.
Atomic pokes in from Hunter and just puts a couple of scatter shots into Nox's back. Gets that foresight. Serpents are still going for it here. They need to find a frag though, and they're actually continuing to lose players. It's just slipping out of their hands here. Atomic and Lippy trying to retreat as Nesh gets cleaned up by Flippy deep in Epsilon territory. They've already backed off into the house, so it's going to be tough for them to try and break out here again, but Shadowburn's doing a little bit of distraction in the valley. It's him versus Mike. Mike's going to win out. And I feel like Serpents could have held on to Spire, but now with those two frags coming in, they don't have a snowball's chance in hell. Forsaken is going to try and jump up onto Bulk, and he's just dancing around here, but Lippy's already left them and they're going to last, and they're just wasting their own time here. These are valuable minutes that they need to get back into this map.
And in terms of the bigger picture of the game as well, like throughout all of this, they had like a 40% Uber advantage, and that's completely faded now to 10%. Like Lippy got disconnected, everyone was kind of doing their own random thing, and the end result now is they should have had advantage to push out, but they've completely lost it, and they might end up overcommitting to the Spire now. They might believe they have it, and they don't. It looks like they recognise that they don't, but it's a big opportunity missed because they need 2 rounds in 3 minutes, and an Uber advantage is a pretty good way to begin, you know, fighting back.
We see Shadowburn poking forward here. Forsaken actually joining them from the other side of the battlements. They've got Lippy with them as well. He's enacting the MD duel on Spire again. He actually turned around here to deal with the forced attempt as Flippy goes in with Mike. Flippy will lose his life. Shocky trying to run away on main. Forsaken hits him with a direct but whiffs the second rocket, but it's been called out. They are going to be able to clean up that backcap threat. And now Serpents trying to continue to move forward, but big pipes being spammed towards main by Numlocked. He switched to the stickies, but Forsaken's going to jump forward onto Nox. Nox with the jukes, and Forsaken just left with his head in his hands there, looking silly. Meanwhile, Lippy gets destroyed by Mike, and things are going very much in the favour of Epsilon here, kaidus.
Yeah, I mean, the health for the Russians were just so bad at the beginning of this encounter. They had no choice but to go for it. Time is not on their side anymore, so I guess they looked at the scoreboard, saw the numbers were roughly even, and figured it was probably the best chance they were going to get. Now they're 3 down. The end result is they're going to go down 4-1, 2 minutes left on the clock, and the game is now out of their reach.
Shocky capped last as Pyro and as a Merc here in this Epsilon team. Read into that what you will. But we will be going to the 6th middle. It might be a little bit perfunctory, but 1 minute 45 seconds on the clock. And I'm going to be taking a look at the Shadowburn cam as he rolls out towards the enemy shithouse. He's just going to walk through. He's about to run into a scout though, but he's going to win that fight. Rest in peace, Flippy. But there is Shocky straight on to Lippy. Medic down for Serpents, and this middle just compounding their loss right now. Tech seems to be about to get almost an ace here. 5 frags. If he can clean up Shadowburn, can he connect the rocket? He does. And Tech just padding his stats there with another big kill spree.
Yep, I mean this game's pretty much all but over now. I guess this is the part of TF2 that I wish didn't exist. When you know it's over, and in any other game you would just type GG and that would be it. You wouldn't have to like sit here and try and, you know, battle your way, stop yourselves from getting 6-1 or like win limited as it were, win differenced. But Epsi are just going to roll over them. They're not going to get to 6-1, but I'm pretty sure this is going to end 5-1. I think Serpent's minds now is just on Snakewater.
The fans are already on their way out to the car park here. They're disgusted. The Serpents fans shaking their heads. Epsilon trying to get another round on the board here. Numlock's going to jump up into the tube. He thinks he's Dr. Phil. Are you Dr. Phil in disguise? No wait, he's on the attacking side here. Numlocked is just chilling here. Will go down to a big pipe in the face from death though. 18 seconds remain. Epsilon have wiped on Serpents last. Is that going to be the momentum shift they need going into map 2 Snakewater? I doubt it.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to make any impact. But it's a weird game to look back on though, because if you think about it, there were so many opportunities for Serpents to make something, like to win fights and take rounds. Like there were a lot of situations where they got the upper hand, but they just didn't have the togetherness to kind of convert it. I mean, I think that can be looked at 2 ways, I guess. Like on the one hand, they played so random, Epsi didn't know what to do with the situation at the start, so it got them an advantage, but then it was just so random that their own teammates actually didn't know what was going on anyway, so once they had these advantages, they didn't know what they had to do to convert it, because they didn't know where on the map the rest of their team was. But I think Snakewater is going to be a lot tougher for the Serpents, because it's not a strong map for them, and it's a map that really rewards like togetherness of the team over straight up DM, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with you about the number of chances I saw Epsilon giving Serpents. Obviously, you know, Serpents managing to make these things happen, but It could have been a closer game. The scoreline probably a little unfair, by 1 round maybe. But looking at the stats right now, I can tell you that, of course, Mike got the most air shots with 11, Tech on 9, Forsaken on 6, Shadowburn on 4, and Death on 1. Numlocked not even getting a single air shot. That's all you need to know. That's our analysis for this map.
It's interesting that Mike top damages on Roma. I mean, it's not particularly surprising for him, but it is it shows he's playing well, I guess, because a lot of damage-heavy players on his team, Tech and Numlocked, you know, quite renowned. So Mike clearly very comfortable in his role on Roma on this team. It wasn't originally intended this way. He was hoping to be the pocket, but putting up the pocket logs nonetheless.
Yeah, Mike there on 340 DPM. Quite a lot of plus 300 players here. Numlocked putting out a lot of damage. Only dies 8 times as well. Trying to echo a certain Jason Allen in his first game of the season.
Dream on, kiddo. Got a long way to go before you can hit those stats.
But Tech as well with some monstrous moments. Actually ends up top fragging there. 28 frags, 4 assists and 14 deaths. Taking a look at the sort of Serpent side of things.
Not good for Nesh. Yeah, that's what stands out to me. Nesh is not putting up particularly good stats. I mean, 147 DPM. I mean, in some games that's not so bad, but you kind of have to look at these things relatively, you know, and he's sitting, what, like 60 below the next lower, 60 DPM below, which is quite a significant margin. And 10 to 23, also bottom fragging for his team, so a harsh debut for him. But to be fair, for like, I've never actually heard of this player. You told me he's a Highlander sniper. Mm-hmm. I've never heard of him in Sixes, so I'm guessing week 1 Epsilon was probably not what he was hoping for.
Yeah, a real baptism of fire there for the German sniper / scout. Like looking at
Wait, he's German?
Well, according to ETF2L, he's got a German flag. Maybe he's a Russian living in Germany. Who knows?
Very, very suspicious.
Maybe he's just ashamed of his Russian heritage. But like, yeah, even just take a glance at his ETF2L history, and it is pretty much all Highlander. He did play in season 21. I tell a lie, in the high division for Team Ja, but this is his big debut, and it's tough up there at the top, man.
But he didn't snipe. You say he's a Highlander sniper. He didn't snipe the entire game, not a single moment.
Yeah, he snipes for stacked. I believe he's pretty good.
That's so weird, because it's not like the Russians are like adverse to running sniper. I mean, it's like practically their trademark of like Russian teams of old running sniper. I mean, Forsaken's sitting on this team. He's in a pocket role now, so he's not really sniping. They're very used to playing with snipers. I don't understand why they're not using if they have a guy on their team who is just a Highlander sniper up till this point, you'd think use it maybe? I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know, maybe they've been struggling, you know, with their roster the last couple of weeks. They're trying to play it straight up, you know, cookie cutter style.
Meanwhile, you have Shadowburn going for market garden and stuff. Doesn't make sense, man. Doesn't make sense.
This is going to be map 2, though, so if you have just joined us, you missed Epsilon with a pretty comfortable 4-1 win on Badlands there over Serpents in this ETF2L Season 22, powered by Saloon.tf, a Premiership Week 1 fixture. One thing I forgot to mention, though, we were kind of rushed with our cast starting late, is that there are 2 other games being streamed live tonight on Team Fortress TV 2. Lego versus Danger Dogs by TF2 Pick Up the Net with Sideshow, Starkey and John on the camera. And on Team Fortress TV 3, you can catch Animate versus The Last Resort with Ryushi, Hildreth and Onkaya. I should mention as well, whilst they've got a captive audience, that the Challengers Cup, hosted by teamfortress.tv, invite bracket will be coming up on Sunday, and that's going to be kicking off in the late afternoon from 17:30 CEST. That's going to be 2 streams of action, 3 rounds of best of 3s, featuring Epsilon, Reason, The Last Resort, Full Tilt, Planet Express, Lego, Serpent, and Kritzberg for defense, the Polish side as well. So much sick TF2 action coming up tonight. And you'll have to watch all the VODs from the other streams in the next couple of days as well. Just with the league beginning, man, it's going to be a really intense casting schedule. How are things going for Reason Gaming? Are you guys playing a lot right now? Are you trying to get in the zone, Kaidus?
We're not really playing that much at the moment. We have a lot of people busy with school and work and things like that, so we're just kind of Yeah, we play a couple of nights a week, normally with a couple of mercs. We tried to play tonight, give TLR a good warm up, but we ended up with 3 mercs as usual. So we're doing our best Epsi impression at the moment, basically, or Epsi
Yeah,
evolved.
like what is the tone for the season? Because you know, with Epsilon coming back and a kind of half-hearted, we're making them for Overwatch, but we're going to play TF2 thing. Like I've heard they haven't played many games at all in practice. Is that stifling competition at the top if they aren't going to play, if they aren't going to practice?
Not really, because I mean, it was always such a 50-50 if they actually came back, you know? I mean, the players that are on that team, they probably wouldn't have played otherwise, so it's still kind of the same sets of teams playing against each other. I think, I don't know, at least from our perspective, like, the main problem isn't opponents to practice against, it's just having our 6 guys online to actually play, you know? But I mean, there's rumors, you know, of these various lands coming up and things like that, and I know that our team, we at least have quite like a long-term goal in mind, so we're not really, you know, we're not trying to go like 100% at the moment. We're trying to pace ourselves, you know, because we've got a long year of TF2 ahead of us. There's going to be a lot more competitions to play in than we're used to. So I think for a lot of teams, it's kind of like that as well. Like ETF2L is still important. It's always going to be, you know, the most prestigious thing you can do online in TF2, even if the prize doesn't really justify it. The name alone kind of carries it like that. But I mean, making playoffs looks pretty straightforward for at least for our team. Like I only really speak about our team. Making playoffs looks pretty straightforward. So we haven't really got any cause to, you know, go all out for a month or so still.
$1,500 available in that Challengers Cup, courtesy of Razer. €1,000 for the ETF2L Prem prize pool. I'm guessing. Does that mean that you're looking to build like a LAN war chest here? You know, trying to get that LAN money early?
Well, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it will be gone by the time a LAN comes around. But it would definitely not help, you know. I mean, this cup on Sunday is going to be great. I mean, I wish we'd had actually more time to practice building up to that cup, because it's going to be probably the highlight of the next couple of months of TF2. Like, ETF2L playoffs are still a long way away in terms of the next 6 weeks of ETF2L. I think they're not going to compare to what's going to happen on Sunday. It'll be by far the most entertaining thing that will happen. So I wish we could have practiced more for that, but it wasn't to be. And, you know, like I say, long year ahead, a lot of stuff to do. So
I'm looking forward to it. I hope to see a Russian team at I-50 as well. They can get their visas sorted out maybe 6 months in advance, so we don't end up with the Shadowburn situation from I-55. But both teams have readied up here, and it is a fake ready as we go back into Soap DM. Just got my hopes up there for a second. I'm not gonna get myself too excited there. One talking point though, I do see actually, just looking at the server. Source Mod is saying the next map is going to be Gravel Pit. That was a map that was considered this season for ETF2L. What was your opinion? Should we have brought Gravel Pit back?
I didn't know that was happening, but I would definitely like to see Gravel Pit back. I don't know if they should I don't know if they should revise the rules of how the map works a little bit. Maybe if it was to come back, it would be best. But I'd like to see it back. I always thought it was really interesting to play. But we have actually gone live. It's not a fake this time.
Gonna take your word for it. Numlocked is rolling out from lower, and he actually spots Death hopping up onto the roof there, and he's managed to chip away at him significantly here, and the heals from Lippy are forced onto Death, but now players are in position. Forsaken is the most forward perhaps up top. Shocky stepping onto the point, but Mike bombs in, kills off Shadowburn, and now he's going to go behind and take the kit, and he's drawn the attention here, and most of Serpents have backed out, but they're just running into Mike. They're catching rockets. But eventually Mike does go down, but he did so much work there, distracting the majority of the Serpents players, and those that didn't take the bait just got cleaned up. Nesh isn't going to be up for another 7 seconds, just as Death goes down. There's nothing that Serpents can do here to contest, but Forsaken is going to try and go anyway. He's going to get the pop forced on him here. He had to get popped upon to be kept alive and kept in the game. Death isn't going to be up for 10 seconds, so maybe this is Forsaken's plan. By enough time for his Diamond Man to get up, take the Uber out of the equation, but Lippy has gone down because Forsaken just sold him out there in the lobby, and this has just ended up as a real tragedy here for Serpents. But as I say that, Epsilon throw 2 onto the point and into the meat grinder, and now they're going to have to back out.
This was looking so comfortable for Epsilon. Like, I've been watching Numlocked pop the entire time, and he's just basically been casually pressing W and not even moving his mouse, just clicking stickies around. But then they just kind of, I think they get carried away a little bit and just throw bodies in. But I mean, that was also comfortable for Epsilon. They weren't challenged at any point. The decision making from the Russians was poor at best. Like that Uber trade, I don't know what that was about or why they wanted to go for that. But somehow it's not resulted in a round though. I mean, the standard of play for either team couldn't have been really more different there. I mean, Nox has got a slight Uber advantage, but I don't really think it's big enough to do a whole lot with. On Snake Warriors, we see Shocky coming up on heavy with Flippy on sniper. I don't know if this is a strat or if Shocky just being Shocky, I think.
I remember some controversial Epsilon game whenever Nox was playing Pocket where he off-classed as heavy for like 15 minutes of 30. So definitely some vintage Epsilon plays coming out here, but it's Shocky as the heavy weapons guy, and they're just able to walk forward here. I mean, there's some massive sightlines. It's really hard to bomb against the heavy when he can see you coming from across the map. And Epsilon just roll forward here, taking territory for free. Nesh is still behind though, and they are aware of that. Flippy's actually looking out for him here, and Mike is perched up top. It's going to be tough for him to do much other than just wait. Yeah,
but I mean, they have no scouts now, so I mean, when a fight eventually does break down, as long as the Russians are not getting minced in the first initial seconds of it, when it comes to the later section of the fight, like the swarm, or the breakdown, however you want to call it, they're really not going to be in a good position. I mean, they really have to basically count on Serpents to make a big error in the initial phases of whatever encounter comes next. I mean, I guess that's probably going to happen because it's been the standard of the game so far, but yeah, okay, here we go. They've been forced really badly, and they're going to have to chase into a heavy and a sniper, so GG. Rest in peace to Dream.
Gotta blame Lippy for that one. Like, Forsaken's body language, he wasn't looking to go forward whatsoever. He was just standing there flat-footed, and he gets popped on, and he's like, what?
But Death finds two? Somehow? Somewhere? Some way? What?
Nice stickies. I think it was lower. He had it stickied and caught off Numlocked and Tech. But off the back of that, Serpents throwing two players to try and get the foresight, but Nox holds strong. And they're going to move here right-hand side on the blue perspective. They're going to come in through roller door. And Death doesn't even have any sticky set up yet, but Nox pops anyway. Fear of the drop. They're going to send both soldiers up there to contest the high ground, but actually Tech loses out. Shadowburn's going to go down as well, though. It is 5-on-5, but Epsilon have a heavy spun up onto the point, but he's not fully buffed. But somehow they're cleaning up anyway. Flippy just popping off shots from the right, but it seemed to be Shocky doing the majority of the work there. Gets a 4k as heavy as he walks into last, or 4 in that life at least.
Again, I'm just left scratching my head. They have a player on their team who's only a Highlander sniper. That's all he's been up to at this point in his TF2 career. The other team cracks out a sniper and a heavy, and he doesn't snipe. I'm at a loss for understanding the thought process.
He needs to, yeah, follow his heart, man. Trust his instincts. Numlocked again, looking to open up with a little bit of aggression on middle, but isn't doing that much damage. Death just kind of backing off and allowing Numlocked to come forward, but Mike ends up going down, but Death gets rushed by Shocky, who just killed off Nesh as well. He's going to end up being avenged, though, by Atomic there, but Flippy onto Atomic means that it just keeps continuing to roll forward in favour of Epsilon here. Forsaken and Lippy are up in the Solrum. Forsaken spamming rockets out. He's going to try and turn around to contest Flippy. He's got Lippy down to 50 health here. This is a real tongue twister right now. So Lippy is very weak here.
They're in Solrum behind them. The Epsi combo is now pushing to last. Alright then. Okay, they're just like rolling in with Uber, like 4v2, Uber versus not even a medic in sight on last, and they're just going to cap the point. What is going on? It's so dumb. Where is Lippy and Forsaken? They're on 2.
I think that's kind of a problem with Forsaken. He's got like, I don't know, I'm not exactly a god complex, but he always has supreme belief in himself, and he's prepared to take these fights with terrible odds and whatever and try and make these like huge plays. When with his ability, if he just did like the simple things, you'd probably lose a lot less rounds that way. But yeah, we're on to the third middle here, and it is still 24 minutes left to play. They're 2 rounds down, and it's going to be first blood to Death. He kills off Mike there with nice stickies around the little crate. Mike denied immediately from his aggression. Flippy and Shocky going to join him, and Serpents with the potential to pick up some momentum here. They can chase, they can wipe them. Nox, last man alive, has no chance of escaping here. He's looking for the hero song. Can't connect it, survives briefly, but eventually goes down, and he actually gets a really long spawn there, 15 seconds. And there's going to be no heals for Epsilon here as they face off against Serpents, who seem like they want to push forward a little bit. They've only got ×2 in middle though, so Nox will be able to spawn in time. Lippy and Forsaken moving in. We've got Shadowburn in tow. They're trying to just hunt out a frag here. Mike's going to be able to walk forward. Lands it direct onto Lippy, but he's unfazed, will not pop. And that gives them man advantage as well as Uber advantage as they move in here onto last.
Yep. Shocky has a gun going off. I'm not sure where it is, but I don't think it's had time. No, it's only on level, just getting up to level 2 now, and they're putting time on the point. They should be around. Like realistically, if they just play from the right, completely ignore the gun as a matter of fact, and just play it all from the right and focus the point, they get it for they would get it easily. There's currently a medic and a NG running around. I hear a horn being blown. Is that the conch? Is that the conch I hear? Is it the buff banner? I don't even know. It's the conch.
Big,
they're running around with conch.
Coming in.
Oh, I don't know, James. I don't know what's going on. This is making my brain hurt.
Forsaken briefly turns into Sonic, but then he's back out here. He's managed to stay alive with that health for damage and the superior speed. Regrouping on the train here, and they've got a nice line of players set up, but it's going to be Forsaken who finds the business end of Numlocked's sticky launcher, and Epsilon just working that man advantage. Shadowburn doing his best to try and just contest him from cheese. Flippy going to go down. Death, Atomic and Nesh are doing work here on the low ground, but the heals are up and the saw him there. Now Shadowburn comes in. Lippy's going to drop down behind, but he's not healing his team right now. They do send in a few players. What? Huge air-to-air shot there from Mike. Moonshot, as both players were just in the stratosphere. And they did get that Uber Force out, but they did it with style right there.
Moonshot, did you come up with that one just now? That's good. It's not bad. Yeah, Lippy's chilling on me with Uber. Def actually caught Epsi quite close. I was going to say they had a good chance to go on them, but Def gets dropped. A bit of miscommunication. I think Def wanted to go on that, but he just got bounced back at the moment where he was probably calling for the Uber. Now they're caught in a really weird position. They're in kitchen. There's Epsi players on both sides of them, but they are looking to stabilize. They've managed to stabilize, and they've got a 50% Uber advantage. As long as Shadowburn can find some health from somewhere, he's getting healed up by Lippy at the moment. They have the opportunity to push. I mean, Def's down. He's not with them, but I don't think they'll care. Like, Flippy's down. He'll come in later. Should probably looking to be taking this point. But they're being really slow about it. Now they're rotating to Sorum, and they've thrown away the Uber advantage by doing that rotation. They're not going to get there in time.
They're not even going to... Oh, they might catch KnoXxX here. He's under pressure a little bit, but actually Tech just jumps up and body blocks Forsaken, forces the fight with him. And as the Uber gets popped off here, Forsaken is scrambling to get out, but he just gets pinned against the wall there with the push from the hit scan and the projectiles. No escape. Forsaken and Shadowburn both down at the minute, but Serpents still want to take this fight on middle. Their scouts don't have the high ground, they're kind of weak as well. Death is still in though. They're going to come in again. It seems like they want to contest this, and Epsilon are actually allowing them to set up here. And Shadowburn on the respawn is going to jump up. No buffs though. He's already pretty weak. Nesh is on life support, but they're still fighting here, and as long as they can draw this fight out, they are going to continue to get their spawns, but they just lose players again on that wave. And with 3 down in an instant, they have to back out. They really outstayed their welcome there. They were trying to bait something out from Epsilon, but they do get 2 frags at the same time.
Nesh is going to get forward spawn behind them. He gets Numlocked, but I'm not sure if he can do anything more. Epsilon are actually 3 down at the moment. They're all the way back on mid. The entire team just gets up for oh my god, what are they called? The Serpents. Yeah, the Serpents, and they should actually be able to get mid off the back of this. I mean, there's probably going to be an Uber trade, and Mike's actually up on Spy, so I can see this actually going terribly for Serpents. They're going to trade these Ubers out on mid, and then Mike's going to come from behind, and it's going to be a sad, sad day.
Lippy surfing, refusing to pop there. Just saw his life flash before his eyes as the entire buffed Epsilon combo was there, but oh, Mike is behind a Spy. Shockey's going for the back cap as well. Mike's looking to get the pick on the death here. He's totally oblivious. Nobody's looking the right way. He actually ends up getting his backstab onto Lippy there, right on the point. Just as Shockey starts the back cap, Shadowburn coming in to contest Shockey. Shockey's giving him the moves. He's dancing, but the cap comes in the middle as Shockey cleans up both soldiers anyway. It's a complete wipe. Serpents, rest in peace. Oh my god. I just had a thought. What if Heist joined Serpents?
What if Heist joined? Oh my god. Bum. Very good.
That would be, you know, a branding coup. They have to make it happen. Come on, Heist. Heist the Snake in Serpents. Make it happen, please. Spam it in Twitch chat.
Yeah, Forsaken's up on Sniper now, so again, I'm gonna just throw it out there. It's a little bit strange that the Highlander specialist sniper they have on the team not sniping, but instead their pocket is. But I've just ceased to question anything the Serpents do today because, yeah, none of it really makes sense to me, but they're actually continually keeping the games reasonably close. I don't know if that says more about that Epsi chemistry at the moment or something special about Serpents, but nonetheless, they're holding last, they're down 20%. The Uber comes in from Epsi, they should probably be around, to be honest. Like, oh, I hope it's around, I don't know. They're just kind of chilling, they're Ubered on the point, no frags are coming one way or the other, no focus fire, no coordination, and Tech's the only def in the entire fight. What's going on, James? What is going on?
It was a good attempt from Epsilon. Like, They saw Forsaken holding close to Sniper. They went in, but only Tech was there. There was no follow-up on Tech's damage. Forsaken survives in spawn on 9 and changes back to Soldier. And now Serpents find themselves with the big Uber advantage. Forsaken skip jumps through and just smashes Mike in the face from the window. Drops down to get the kit, and he's turning so many heads here. Finally, we do see Serpents walking forward. They're going to pop off their charge here, but Tech is ghosted in from Sorum. He's been spotted out though, gives his position away. And he's going to retreat to meet up with Nox and Shocky on middle. And it looks like they want to take this fight and buy time for their spawns. Shocky running forward and trying to put the fear of God into them. But it seems that Epsilon aren't even going to try and recreate what Serpents did by staying in and dying eventually. They're just going to go out. They're going to maintain their 2-0 lead here and hold around Sorum. But it won't be a hold because they have that charge coming up momentarily. A push coming in.
Yeah, Epsilon played those spawns really well. Like, they gave it the point, they knew their spawns would come in, they came in like just by a hairline. Now they're holding on to Zuba really nice. Oh my god, my game just crashed.
Nox hasn't even hopped off charge yet, but they found 2 frags, Nesh and Shadowburn going down. They're rolling forward here. Forsaken though did manage to headshot Mike, then guns down Tech with the SMG. Nox now pops off his charge, he's totally alone in middle. Shocky went lower to clean up Atomic. Now it's all on Shocky here to try and make something happen. He gets the foresight of Lippy, and somehow Nox escapes. Nobody thinks to pen him in. Nox has managed to make it back. That slippery Frenchman retreats all the way to lobby. Numlocked is getting juggled skywards here. He's going to land on a sticky from death. And throughout this calamity, Nox still manages to stay alive, but they did lose both Shocky and Numlocked there. 10-second spawns for them. And the cap coming in for Serpents. They're going to be able to push last, and without the fear of the sticky trap on entry at least, they're getting ready to go. They have a sniper though still. Forsaken trying to make something happen, but Mike got a bomb forward combined with Tech to take him out, and that might just slow things down here. It's neck and neck in terms of the Ubers, and Epsilon are looking to force the issue. They immediately catch Death out. Didn't think it was going to come, didn't expect it, got complacent and got punished. And they're continuing to hemorrhage players here. Mike gonna go down eventually to Atomic, but Nesh had to pay for that one with his life, and Atomic goes down as well. And this is just really scrappy play here from Serpents, but it's all one-way traffic. It's all Epsilon, baby.
And lobby is really not a place you want to be when you're 1 down. Like, there's really no point to be in lobby, especially when your sniper's the guy that died. You really can make nothing happen, so a little bit of an overextension by Def there to linger in lobbies. We do see the Uber come in for Epsilon. Oh my god, sorry. Numlocked poking in Sorum. Looks like he wants to go. Forsaken is down, so I mean they have every right to push mid at the moment. The Uber's up for Lippy. Looks like they just want to poke and try and get a force out, but I think they're recognizing they're quite close, and they need to be careful now. They back up just in time. Nox and his medic are going to make it out, or they should make it out just about as the Russian Uber chases. But they're making it just about making it into lobby. Numlocked going down to 18, but managed to survive and Shocky kill Shadowburn, who was hot on his heels. And they're going to be able to put up a good defense of the second. And I think the Russians need to be really careful now. If they outstay their welcome, it could be disastrous for them.
Shadowburn was on a tear there, doling out the air shots, but eventually getting shut down. It is 14 minutes, 45 seconds left on the clock here. Still 2-round lead for Epsilon. Mike coming in from the window at the perfect moment, just as the combo was passing through the threshold of that door, put some rockets into their back, and there are a lot of dead Serpents lying around here. I think St. Patrick's been in the house. He's chasing these snakes out.
Atomic's trying to work the flank. I mean, I think he was originally considering a back cap, but the numbers aren't going to work in his favour. But oh, he meets Shocky. Shocky destroys him with ease, losing only about 10 HP in that 1v1. So well played by Shocky, covering all the ways. I'm not sure if Atomic was going to go for a backup in the end, or probably just go for a flank play, but it wasn't to be. I don't think those spawns came in, did they? Oh no, the spawns for Serpents did just make their way in, so they're going to be 5v6 on this point. They should be able to set up a defense. It's actually looking like they want to come in on grass. Shadowburn wishes jump a little bit, but both soldiers are jumping forward for Serpents, but not really the most convincing bombs. They don't really make it onto the combo. They just kind of land just in front of them and get cleaned up with ease. So this point is kind of a given for Epsi now. No chance for the Serpents to do anything on it. They have one guy straggling in Sorum who's probably going to get cleaned up. There's 2 Epsi players on the hunt for him, but I think they might have just said, forget about him. Yeah, they're forgetting about him. They're going to last. There's only 3 guys on last for the Serpents at the moment, so it's a good decision by Epsi. Focus going on to the point. Looks like they want to play the point. The stickies are blown for death. Now's the time to get on it, but more stickies relaying. They're just kind of baiting them all to the point, cleaning up the frags one by one. The Uber now coming in for Nox, and after much ado, we see the 3rd round come in for Epsi.
The Epsilon scouts were on point there. Flippy had killed 4 in that first engagement that really opened things up for him, but just the protection on Nox as well, as Serpents tried to scramble and get something out of that, but every attempt on KnoXxX's life was shut down by one of the scouts. Now we're on to the 4th mid fight here, 13 minutes on the clock. And Nesh is trying to poke up top left, but immediately puts themselves in the crosshairs. The 3 Epsilon players has to go back and get healthier. But Numlocked goes down, gets rushed. Atomic gets KnoXxX as well. And Epsilon are just scratching their heads here. The aggression coming out from Serpents yielding big results. Lippy going down though at the same time to Mike. But things, as long as he can clean up these last 2 soldiers, Mike is going to jump in here. The call must be that they're weak. He's thinking, oh, he's kind of whiffs his jump. He's going to start walking back. Catches a big pipe. Which kit is he going to go for? They're both covered here. Atomic's got the lower. Mike jumps out towards second. Sinks up. Easy dances on the fence. Atomic going to claim that frag, and Mike gets a 15-second spawn there. But KnoXxX has just respawned on crits.
I think it's a good decision. Like, Serpents aren't really going to do a whole lot, and FC actually opting to push it. I guess the respawns are so far away for the Serpents that these 3 or 4 stragglers are completely out of place. But I mean, I'm also sure about that as the respawns now arriving in full force, and both Shocky and Mike are down. Numlocked really lucky to get away with his life, and wow. What happened?
Catches them both in the door lower. Just Death and Atomic trying to go ahead and flank KnoXxX. The crits is available, but they probably don't even need to use it here. A sniper shot is heard across the map. That's Forsaken trying to find the dome of KnoXxX there from lower. He's not going to be able to get it. And the crits, you know, the timing is getting very close here. Lippy almost has his charge, but KnoXxX wants to push the crits. He's going to pop off onto Seb Barton. He gets both frags, Demo and Medic going down. Lippy unable to get his charge up in time. And gets a third there, the pipe onto Shadowburn. Beb Sarton producing the goods. Only Nesh and Forsaken remain alive. Forsaken playing sniper, still trying to find some sort of angle here, but it's all Epsilon. Flippy with a nice one in chat there. Was impressed by it. Atomic's 1v1ing on him.
I really wonder how this game could have gone if Shadowburn will just forget he had Market Gardener, because as his crits came in, all he did was jump and try to Market Gardener a fully buffed Demo down. So I really don't know how that was ever going to work out, but if he hadn't, he could have actually put some serious pressure on Forsaken though. I don't know where the hell he is, but he comes in with the headshot, drops KnoXxX, well, kills KnoXxX, no more crits in play, and actually gets a body shot onto Shocky as well, and it's 3 down for Epsi. Flippy is hiding in Soaring, but I mean, this should be quite comfortable for Serpents at the moment. They spot Tech on the floor, wow, big roll. Takes down Atomic, and he really almost got Nesh as well. But in amongst all of this, Flippy is still hiding. He's thinking of the backup, I think. He's hiding just outside Soaring. But Shadowburn's actually on 2, so it's going to be a 1v1 on 2 for second. There's definitely no chance of a backup now. Shadowburn can play this clock down quite nice. He's going to take the pack and come back for him. But there's actually no pack, but there's no chance of the backup either. So Flippy is just behind now. I don't know if he's going to make anything happen, but meanwhile on mid, Numlocked and his boys are coming in. They're going to block it, and they're getting a lot of frags, and Flippy's still behind them, so they're going to completely pincer them. And all the frags are Epsi's way. It's a complete destruction.
That was bizarre.
Yeah.
You'd have been forgiven for thinking like Shocky was Ubered or something there in the point. He just stood on the point and danced around amongst 4 people. AD. No one managed to kill him off in those 5 seconds, and then the rest of Epsilon rolled in to support him. And it's a white Serpents all down right now. 4 spawns coming in, but the point is already stacked by Epsi as they extend their lead to 4-0 here. Just as we go sub 10 minutes. 2 minutes round, it's still possible, Serpents, but you know, it's looking really grim. The last 2 mids have been pretty
good for them, like honestly. They won the last 2 mids, like reasonably convincingly. I mean, they were unlucky to lose Lippy last time, but if they could keep those mids going, they could really, make some rounds. If they just got it a bit more together after the mids, you know?
I'm watching the Atomic cam this time. Immediately finds Shocky in his face, but can't kill him off before he kills off Death. He's working his way across the point. It turns into a 4-on-4, but it's Tech versus Forsaken. The big fight up top. Both landing meaty rockets, but Forsaken is going to retreat here. He feels too weak. And as they all, you know, really telegraph the fact that they're super weak and back off, they're just going to get wiped out here. Shadowburn on the respawn. He's walked into lobby here. He's about to jump in. The Market Gardener finally gets his frag.
Jesus Christ, it's about bloody time, the amount of attempts he's had.
He made it work. Was it worth it?
KnoXxX is not pleased.
Mike says, oh my god, fuck! This game is going retarded. There you have it.
I mean, 8 minutes on the clock. Is that the play that Epsi needed to turn? I mean, not Epsi. Is that the play the Serpents needed to turn the game around?
Have they broken KnoXxX's spirit? Is he just gonna like throw from here on out? There is Mike playing sniper right now. Doming kids on middle? Yeah, they're throwing it. They want to lose as fast as possible.
Completely. I don't even know what just happened. Oh, I really hope Epsi cap this point. I don't want to witness any more of this game.
Nox is trying to do it single-handedly here. Nox versus Atomic on point. Tech hiding around the geometry of this rock does eventually go down. But Mike's spree of headshots has come to an end there. Whenever it really counted, he couldn't connect. Numlocked just hiding in the lobby here. Big sticky trap above the left. Dead's a second too early. And barely scratches Forsaken. He's distracting though for Shocky. Shocky hiding up in the little crate here. Is he going to go for the back cap? He's been spotted out by Death. There's also Shadowburn waiting on last. He will kill off Death, but the cap comes in on second. And there are 7 minutes, 20 seconds left as Shocky goes down in the lobby. Epsilon kind of retreating here. And realizing that they probably need to recompose themselves. It still is possible to lose at this point.
I don't think it's possible for them to lose at this point. I've seen nothing to convince me that...
mathematically, come on,
it's mathematically possible, but I just can't see it happening. I mean, even if everything was up 2 rounds, you know, they could flip a switch at any moment, take this game seriously again, and just crush them if they wanted to. Instead, they're making everyone sit through this. Nonetheless, body's being traded on mid. It's currently in possession of Epsi, but I mean, there's position for the Russians, but their health is really not favourable. Uber percentage is not favourable, and it's 3 down now for Serpents, and Flippy is on the chase. He wants to get his frag on Atomic, who's retreating all the way, and the combo for Serpents is only just making its way off Sorum. If Epsi go fast, they could just crush them here. And they're not. They're just going to play the Uber game, I think, as Forsaken comes back up on Sniper, so it's kind of, I think it's all on Forsaken here. There's enough Uber advantage for Epsi to take this all the way. They're looking to go lower. But Forsaken's got his scope on top lobby actually, so the sniper threat's going to be completely negated. It's 8% crits actually for Serpents, so if they can kaidus Uber, they have a vague chance. But I really couldn't see Epsi crushing them here, to be honest. Uber comes in, they take down Nesh, Numlock's focusing the spawn, Lippy's 98, 99, 100% of crits, I don't know if there's anything going to come from it. And I can't get my camera in the right place, and the crits comes out, and they're actually finding frags. They're going to hold on to this maybe. I can't get my camera in anywhere near the right position to understand what's going on. Shoky's still in, managed to take down Death. They're just having so much trouble killing Shocky. He's still jumping around, still distracting. I mean, there's no Epsi players in the vicinity to make use of it, apart from this random sniper of Tech in upper lobby, who's going to get destroyed eventually, and Epsilon refusing to let this game end.
Forsaken with another wayward crits, but he did at least do enough to intimidate Epsilon. He's now currently soaking up the damage of Numlocked, but Epsilon just continuing to back off here, running down that clock. 4-0 the scoreline, and 5 minutes 15 seconds the time remaining. Atomic, Forsaken and Shadowburn looking to force their way up onto the gantry there, onto middle, but Mike stuffs them back in. He's pretty weak here, but the crits has come up again, and Death is going to take the helm this time. Managed to catch Flippy off with a big old fat glowing sticky there. Atomic onto Shocky, and Epsilon now on the back foot, but they do have that charge though. They can choose to take this fight even though they're outnumbered and buy time for those spawns. 5 seconds for both the scouts to get back up, and it's going to be Tech and Numlocked flashed on here. Tech finds Death. Shadowburn jumps behind here. Mike sees him and spotted out, but Epsilon are kind of pushing ahead here. They're caught in 2 minds. Shadowburn distracting at least 2 of them, and the big backcap attempt comes in here from Serpents. Atomic, Nesh and Lippy all committing hard here, but there's only those 3 on the field right now in this engagement, and they're about to be swarmed here by blue players. But they're making a real go of it here. They killed off both the Epsilon scouts who had just respawned, and Lippy is staying forward. They know he's going to get that crit soon, the classic scout crits. How many frags will it get? 0! He's going to walk into a sticky, and that most definitely is going to be that.
Forsaken slamming from window. I mean, I wonder what could have happened in this situation if he'd been Soldier. He could have got there really fast and come in and worked on that distraction his scouts and medic were doing, but he has a headshot on Mike, makes 1 frag for it, but I think that's going to be all about he gets, just about all he gets. Atomic actually in on Nox, so that's a frag, that's definitely a frag, and Flippy now in on Death, so that's a demo down for the Serpents, and it's going to be a mid for Epsi, and this maybe, just maybe, could be the start of the final push, the final surge from Epsi that seals the 5-0. I don't know though. Numlock dies on mid. I don't think anyone's really trying anymore in this game. It's so random.
I think we've switched back to Soap DM here as Shadowburn is going toe to toe with Shocky. Shocky wins out though. No, Shadowburn just retreats. Mike playing Spy here again. He's going for off-classer of the season. He's trying to just farm the awards now. He will get manhandled there with burly Russians on middle. They're moving forward, they have crits. And they have a dream as well. Shadowburn jumping forward to make space, but doesn't even manage to touch down. Just his ragdoll connects with the ground there. Shoggy gonna lose his life, and Cheese turning it into a 5-on-5. Crits gets popped off, but Lippy's already dead as the first projectile flies out. Serpents just all over the place right now. They have absolutely given up.
Yeah, I mean, is it even mathematically possible anymore? And it's actually not. So there's 2 minutes left, and they're just kind of forced to play out the rest of this miserable, miserable game of Snake Water. I mean, I've never been a fan of this map, but I think this is probably one of the worst games I've ever seen on it, actually. Not even really the map's
This could have been
fault.
Gravel Pit, man. This could have been Gravel Pit.
What a game
Permzilla.
that could have been.
Are you telling me Permzilla didn't even ask your opinion as a team captain if Gravel Pit should be in the game?
I don't think so. I don't think I ever heard anything about it, because I definitely would have told them. I think it kind of vaguely rings a bell, but I definitely would have said I'm a huge proponent of bringing Gravel Pit back. I think it's one of the far more interesting maps to see being played at a high level, especially when compared to this. I mean, this kind of nonsense. You wouldn't get this on Gravel Pit, you know. It would just be the game will be over. One team has to win. No time limit. Well, there is a time limit, but you don't really play to the time limit.
Well, we did see all the classes, you know, lots of spy action, plenty of snipers, heavies, NGs even, so Gravel Pit-esque.
But did we see Nash on Sniper at any point?
I don't think so. Oh, David says at one point, but he died instantly. We'll check the logs later, but we're down into the last 90 seconds here. Tech is now
Oh my god, we have a big development.
Sniper.
Shocky is rolling out on the back burner Pyro. I wonder how many backs will he be able to burn on this most specialist of loadout. Currently playing in front of all the opponents though, so I don't think it's going to go that great. Making very minimal effort to get anywhere near the enemy team, so I think my hype is going to die out for that particular play.
no backs to be roasted. Oh, is it onto Nesh? Launches him up with a flare but doesn't connect. Amateurish
God,
Pyro
what a
plays.
pathetic attempt.
Shadowburn gonna catch him with the body shot. And players just leaving the server here from Serpents. They're not even gonna stay for the last 50 seconds. They're just calling GG. They are tapping out, guys. And so that's just poor sportsmanship, to be honest. Stay to the end. Have a bit of pride at least.
It's not poor sportsmanship. They should just be able to say GG. It should just be. Oh, there should just come a point where you can
Like
just say.
StarCraft.
Yeah, you just say GG and the game ends. Team captain says GG, the game ends, and you're not forced to just do this weird thing where you know you've lost miserably and pathetically, but you're still forced to take part in just the absolute shitfest that occurs in the final moments of the game. Epsilon just uber on point. It's 5-0. The only upside I can see of this game is my prediction came true.
It's not like it
Was
doesn't
indeed
happen
5-0.
in other sports like that play to the clock. There's always dead time in some games.
Like what?
Football.
Very
Football,
rarely
rugby.
though, because in football you can it can be 10-0
Yeah.
with 5 minutes left, and it's mathematically possible to score 10 goals in 5 minutes. I mean, it's never going to happen, but you can at least have that 1% of belief that it could happen. But in this game, it's a physical impossibility. It's just not something you can do within the parameters of the game. You know, I think I don't blame the Russians for leaving. It was over. It was long over. It should have been over 20 minutes ago, but Pepsi made it last all this time.
Should have just given them the default win. Okay, let's take a look at the logs of this stunning
please.
5-0 game. Don't turn off your PCs in disgust either, guys. You could jump over to Team Fortress TV 2 or 3 right now, assuming their games are still going. I'm refreshing actually the
think
stream
they're
list.
all
And
over.
they're all over. Oh my
Somehow
god.
this was longer than all of them.
Logs are open. I'm going straight for the dams, and it's Numlocked up top. 344 damage per minute. Tech just behind him on 355. No one else joins them in the 300 club. Forsaken almost there on 299.
Why are there only 5 Epsi players on the log?
That's a good question.
Oh, Shocky's on the red. Shocky's showing up as red for me. I don't know why.
Maybe he
Fair
joined
enough.
red right at the end of the round whenever the Russians left. I don't know. That's one for Zub to answer. Step up your log parsing game, please, bro. But air shots wise, it's Shadowburn up top this time. Mike, one up behind him there on 7. You know, these stats, man.
They tell a pretty picture.
Shocky actually top frags, 30 frags. Doing work.
Yeah, I mean,
more
like
comfortable
the
there.
one thing I will say about this game is Shockey was like legitimately quite impressive. I mean, time and time again, you kind of commented on it where he was just kind of walking into a crowd of Russians and taking absolutely no damage. And I mean, you can blame, like, sometimes you can say that's like the opponent's fault, but sometimes with players like Shockey, he can just do that to you. He can make you look like an idiot, but he can make the best players in the game look like an idiot if he wanted to at times. So I think he was actually quite good. This superstar Merc they brought in at the last minute.
Now, I could tell you guys the scores of the other games, but
No
since,
spoilers. No spoilers.
since they all happened at the same time, no spoilers, I think. You can always watch the VODs instantly on Twitch, but we will be getting those YouTube VODs out over the next few days. Mike has just joined us here in chat. There's nothing else to really say about the logs, but let's talk a little bit to young Michael Adams here. Congratulations on your first win of the season. How does it feel?
Oh, ecstatic.
It's good to be back under the Epsilon banner, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good, but it's more good to be playing with Seb and Tech again, I think. And Shockey again.
But not Nox.
Flippy a bit. Nah. It's a bit past it, I think. We should just retire already, to be honest.
You didn't even show up for the first map of your practice?
Exactly. Or what? Either of them actually didn't show up to the second, so...
Does Nox even care? That's what they're asking on the Team4tress.tv forums.
Yeah,
Nox
we wanted to get Raymond,
well.
but, you know...
What you saying?
Oh,
Hello,
hey,
Jean-Louis.
Hello?
my favorite medic.
What do you think of the Serpents' performance today? They've had a few roster changes. Were you expecting more from them, or was that, pretty much what you expect from a Russian kind of mixed team?
I expect more. Like last game we played them was more closer, but we didn't have a full lineup. And yeah, anyway, everyone was motivated and taking fun tonight. So
Those two are not the same thing. What?
we saw a lot of off classes, Nox. Was that your calls, or was that just people, deciding to play heavy sniper spy?
It's often the greatest mastermind that TF2 has ever seen.
Who's that?
Mike?
Mike? Mike playing a lot of spy. We saw a nice moment on Badlands where you got the backstab, then the headshot under Grey Bridge, a couple of other ones as well. But is this going to be a new thing you're bringing out for season 22? Mike on spy a lot?
Yeah, I hope so. I just wanted to off-class as much as possible, really. And I feel like I kind of nearly achieved that tonight. And Nox is making a hasty getaway.
Nox on his Harley there, just revving off into the sunset. But,
no, to
Mike...
be honest, I was a bit drunk tonight, so I don't care about everything. I was just playing for fun.
Nox, what did you think of the Market Gardener? Shadowburn finally, after like 20 attempts, got one on you.
I didn't expect that at all. Like, it was really funny. I was what the fact that. Oh my god, that's retarded weapon. Like, everything is going more retard season after season with all the knocks, but that's a game, and I think it's part of the show, so it's good.
It was entertaining. Mike, I got I think I figured you out. Even in the first game here, all this off-class shenanigans. You're just trying to win another award, right? You want the off-classer of the season award. Admit it.
Well, yeah, I have to contest with this Shockey as well, so I have to off-class a bit more than usual, but yeah, it's gonna be tight between me and Shockey this season, I think. I'm feeling it. This is my season.
Obviously, you played recently with Forsaken in a team. He's back here now playing Soldier again. He has been playing Scout a lot in the past seasons. What do you prefer? What do you think is Vic's best role?
For the Russians, I think he's better as Soldier because he's like the main caller, and he is he's probably the best like Russian main caller. But it's still like it's hard for him, I think, playing with these people. But yeah, definitely you can do the most in the pocket role. Although you couldn't really pull off the conch like Shadowburn did, but generally speaking, yeah, it's the best for him. Like, you can still go sniper sometimes and let Shadowburn pocket a bit, but yeah, definitely Soldier.
You say there it's hard for him in this team. Do you feel like these players are beneath him?
Well, like, he's got just new upcoming players, really, which is always hard, to like focus on your own game and focus on their team as well. So, like, beneath isn't the right word. It's just like they're not fully developed yet. Like, this Nesh guy has potential, and Lippy is a medic. You know, I don't know about that. He's got a very good mechanical skill, but like as a medic, it's still hard with it. You're not used to having to be so away all the time. So yeah, I'm not sure this will be their final roster still. Like I'm hoping they manage to get some like better players back, but you know, a lot of Russians inactive, all of their best players. So like they were, I think they wanted to play GTK tonight, but they had to play with Death. So, but that's a bit up in the air. Who's the best demo at those two, or who even
I think
should
Death
play?
is better. Like he did last season. He did a good season. I remember. I think he's one of the best demo last season.
Yeah, but GDK didn't play last season. I think GDK in his prime like might be better than Death.
GDK is only good with freaking crits all the time on his ass.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd agree with Nox. I think GDK is too inconsistent, too unreliable, even to show up for games and stuff. But I want to touch on some drama, you know, some gossip. Why is Shocky playing for you guys as a merc? What's the story there? Why isn't he part of the Epsilon roster?
It's a secret.
Seb Barton, you're remaining silent there. What do you know about
He's
Shocky?
on a bit of a tight leash.
Yeah, we just told him. I don't know. He wanted to play in Lemmings already because our making this team for ETF2L was a bit last minute. So we'd already talked about making a team, and then we were like, oh, we're not sure it's going to happen. But then it's like, fine, I'll play for Lemmings, and then it's like we were going to play this season because that wasn't originally the plan. So he's just like, yeah, I'll play for both. But we told him if no one allows him as a merc, then he'll have to join the roster. So we'll see.
Have you considered the possibility that Lemmings finish second in the high division? Are they in high? Yeah. I'm gonna say yeah. And Epsilon finished second last, and you have to play them in the playoff. Which side does Shocky choose?
I think we'll flip a coin. See who loves more, us or his girlfriend.
Bros before hoes. Is that how it works?
That should be how it is.
Oh, we're counting.
Okay. Tell us a little bit then about your thoughts on the upcoming Challengers Cup. I believe you've been practicing like 4 times in 2 weeks. Are you actually going to practice whenever there's cash money on the line this weekend?
Not at all.
You're just going to show up and fucking win. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's on Sunday anyway, isn't it? So we don't really have time. Like tonight was our practice,
true.
But we're feeling okay about it. Like especially there'll be quite a few games to warm up on.
What's your roster going to be on Sunday? The same as tonight?
Yeah, the same as tonight.
Okay. I want to remind everyone about that. I did mention at the midpoint, but that's the Challengers Cup hosted by teamfortress.tv. It's the invite bracket. It's starting on Sunday from 17:30 CEST. There's going to be 2 streams running for 3 rounds of best of 3 games. $1,500 at stake, courtesy of Razer and Gaming Grids. Top teams in there: Epsilon, Reason, The Last Resort, Full Tilt, Planet Express, Lego, Serpents, and Kritzberg for defense, the Polish team. So mark that one down in your diaries. We're going to get these VODs up from the other games tonight: Lego versus Danger Dogs, Animate versus TLR. We're not going to tell you the scores though, so no spoilers. I'll throw it over for some shout outs right now. Go for it, Nox. Who do you want to shout out to?
Shout out to all the team. I hope this year it's gonna be really good. Like, we're playing TF2 more for fun this year, but I hope all the team will be motivated to play another game. Next game, it's going huge. I hope. And shout out to Mitzi too. Like, he make the dream come true. Like Epsilon coming back now.
You're gonna make
and
me cry.
it's because of Mitzi.
I'm getting so emotional right now. We love you, Mitzi. Mike.
Yeah, what's the Mitzi ID?
Yeah,
like, not to be the TF2, not to be the TF2 team at the beginning. Just Overwatch team. But
Let's all give shout outs to Mitzi.
yeah.
Mitzi's the man.
Shout outs to Reason as well. I had a good line with those guys in a good season, and I look forward to playing them this season. And shout out to Forsaken as well, so not crying to me in Steam after that official.
Yeah,
Barton.
same. Shout out to Risen also.
Mitzi and Slick for being the guy that's going to give us our keys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's true.
Kaidus.
Shout out to God for getting me through this night.
Shout out to DavidTheWin, our cameraman, and everyone that was involved with the production tonight. Sideshow, Stark, John, Rishi, Hildreth, and Onkayu cast the other games. And stay tuned to Team Fortress TV, as I say, that cup on Sunday, and then just 7 more weeks of ETF2L Season 22. And ESEA continuing to roll on as well. But that's going to be it. Thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. Peace.